by Joseph Rathgeber. Here's this feller waiting for his phone to buzz. I say feller like I'm an old fart. I assure you, though, I'm not. It's just something I say. So this feller, he goes by Gordo, picks up his phone, and it's Wilfredo, who says, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Be waiting outside." Wilfredo hangs up before Gordo can say, "I'm already outside." And he gnaws as he gnaws a plastic straw, as is his habit. Wilfredo pulls up 20 minutes later, driving a Toyota pickup. "It's my brother-in-law's," he says. "He said we can use it, but he wants a taste of what I've got planned." Wilfredo smacks the passenger seat and Gordo hops in. Wilfredo throws an onion sack in Gordo's lap. Gordo pokes his fingers through the mesh to inventory its contents. "Bathing suit, beach towels, sunglasses, and flip-flops," Wilfredo says. "Careful with the sunglasses. They're my sister's. You break them, you buy them." This Wilfredo, he's a sharp tack type. I've met him a handful of times. Speedy retorts, kind of nervy, blinks a lot. He's always thinking 10 paces ahead, but often gets tripped up. This can get annoying, especially since he's never punctual. He shows up late and then starts making demands of you. This is what Gordo tells me in any case. Most people can understand how that could get annoying. Most people. "So give me the rundown," Gordo says. He's got a chin-strap beard that belies the rounded-off features of his fat face. The straw between his lips bounces like a needle on a pressure gauge. Wilfredo, fresh off flunking the written component of the police exam, one hands the steering wheel at 6 o'clock while gesturing with the free hand. "No one locks their doors, Gordo." "Give it to me straight, Willie. What's the plan?" Gordo's impatient. He's been on the lookout for a new hustle ever since he fell off some scaffolding doing commercial window washing. He was denied disability because he wasn't on the books. And he wasn't on the books because his boss was a cheap motherfucker, exploiter of the working man. Me and him both have been on the job hunt. "We're driving down the beach," Wilfredo says. "No one locks their doors down there." "What do you mean?" "I mean what I mean. Down the beach, people don't lock their doors. They go swimming in the morning and the afternoon, maybe coming back for lunch. These are vacationers. They're all about the R&R, no worries, Hakuna Matata. People never consider the criminal element while on vacation." "Do you have a specific area in mind?" "Ocean Beach, same exit off the parkway as Seaside. There's a rental area, Ocean Beach 3. That's where we're going to hit. It's about 10 blocks of bungalow rentals." "Willie, I can't fuck with this. I'm on probation. I can't do a B&E right now." "I figured you'd bitch out." "You don't have to enter the bungalows, even if they're unlocked doors like a make yourself welcome at home. Mi casa es su casa." "But whatever. You can still hit this place up and make out like bandits." "How?" "Propane tanks," Wilfredo says. "Each weekly rental is given 2 full propane tanks, one hooked up to the grill and the other is spare. We disguise ourselves in bathing suits and sunglasses, carry a towel around our necks, look the part like we belong there. We put flip-flops on, the whole nine. No one will suspect 2 young beachgoers." Propane. "Why not stay local? Use the pickup to transport shipping pallets. I saw a fresh stack of them behind the shop right in Totowa. We can get a solid return on them at the lumber yard." "Son, propane tanks will fetch us $20 a pop minimum," Wilfredo explains. "That's a lowball estimate, mind you. The bed of the pickup can fit some 30 tanks, I'm guessing. Do your math, that's like $600 for one day's work." "Factor in the fuel," Gordo says. "Fuck that. I ain't reimbursing my brother-in-law shit. He owes me for putting up his bail last year." "I don't know, Willie." 600 ducats, Gordo. It's a sure thing. I know a guy who manages the Gulf Station on Getty Avenue, and he'll buy them off us. Plus, we get to see the ocean, put our feet in the sand and shit. Come on, Gordo. You can buy the wifey a dinner at Sizzler, an outfit from JCPenney, maybe she'll actually fuck you. Gordo takes the straw from his mouth, turns in his seat to face Wilfredo, and says, "Fuck you, Willie. Ain't you got any AC in this bitch?" These two ragamuffins, one a Paul, the other a Silas, their feet destined to be put into socks, pull into a bayside park, trying damn hard not to look like trouble. They huddle up on the passenger side of the pickup and change into their swim gear. Gordo holds up the towel for Wilfredo, and Wilfredo does the same for Gordo. Gordo reaches into the onion sack for his bathing suit. "I hope you got an XL," he says. "You'll have to make do. I got you what I got," Wilfredo says. "I'm not cut like you, Willie. I'm not a male model material, you hunk." There's a middle-aged white guy pushing his daughter on a swing some 50 yards away, but he's a citizen. He's no threat. They're safe, unsuspected. Wilfredo leads Gordo to the rear of the vehicle, unhitches the tailgate, and points to their supplies. There's a tarp, a bundle of bungees, and a length of rope. The tarp's the most important item, Wilfredo explains. No one, and I mean no one, needs to know the content of our cargo or our character. Gordo wears an expression that conveys, "I know the drill. This isn't my first coming out party. I'm no debutante at this ball." And it's true. Gordo and me have collaborated on many a caper. Though we had decided, not a week prior, that it was time to go straight for a while, tear off a pay stub or two, get some benefits. I need my wisdom teeth pulled for real. When you load the bed, make sure those tanks are secure or snug. Use the bungees, Wilfredo says. That's what they're there for security. Mind the valves too. Righty-tighty, remember. I don't want a few dozen propane tanks bouncing around the bed like pinballs in the parkway. I don't want to be a Humvee clipping a tripwire triggering an IED on the road to Damascus. Gordo listens to the instructions attentively. He nods in his straw meditatively, nodding when necessary. Nodding enough to let Wilfredo know he's with it. They hit only 1 or 2 bungalows each block. They don't want to wait around with the pickup double parked or idling in the road. It arouses suspicion. If they stay in one location for longer than 10 minutes, some vacationers might think they're maintenance men working on for the rental agency. Others might think they are there what they're there for. Gordo, knowing him as long as I have, is cautious by nature. Wilfredo, working one side of the street, Gordo the opposite. They walk over to the bungalows, casual-like, and look for signs of life. The bungalows are easy to read. Family vacations or raucous events, abuzz with activity, children running and playing. The majority of the bungalows are lifeless, empty. To apply the phrase, "the coast is clear," would be wrong. The coast is where the families have relocated for the day. The coast, then, is unclear. The coast is congested, crowded. The bungalows, meanwhile, are clear as day. This day. They proceed to the backyards, flip-flops clapping. There aren't any fences or shrubs to limit their movement, to trammel their approach. The girls are in the open, uncovered and unobstructed. Wilfredo squats. Gordo crouches to his knees. He'll need a lever to lift himself back up. They unscrew the regulators from their respective propane tanks. They each take one tank in the right hand and the spare tank in the left. They walk, counterbalanced, like that blind bitch, Lady Justice, with her carrot scales, back to the pickup. They load him, bungee him, and tarp him. Wilfredo can't help himself. He double-checks the valves. If Wilfredo is ESL, then Gordo is ADD. He's a tapper, tapping the brake light, while Wilfredo gets red in the face with the tightening. "You see that lobster cage over there?" Gordo says. Wilfredo looks up, his hand still hugging a tank, and glimpses at Gordo. "What about it?" "I always wanted one," Gordo says, "for my lawn. That or a wagon wheel." "You don't have a lawn." I know I don't have a lawn, Willie. I always wanted a lobster cage for my lawn that I know I don't have." Wilfredo brushes the sand from the creases in his kneecap, and they proceed with the job. The streets in Ocean Beach 3 are named for sea creatures, for marine life. Tuna Way, Sandpiper Avenue, Marlin Court. Wilfredo and Gordo are on Albatross Avenue when they encounter trouble. Wilfredo is loading another tank onto the bed. Gordo, slow of step, is still unscrewing his from a grill. It was lucky to have the tanks covered with the tarp, or else the cop would have seen all the evidence. It would have been like UN inspectors stumbling upon WMDs. One of those, well, what do we have here moments. The cop elbows out of his Jeep window and asks Wilfredo, "What are you doing over there?" Gordo sees the confrontation from a distance, from the backyard across the street. He leaves the propane tank behind and loops around in Wilfredo's direction. "Can I look at what you got in there?" the cop asks. Wilfredo's calm at the moment, but Gordo knows him to be short of cops, a volatile temper tantrum type. Several sources have confirmed to me he's a hothead, explosive. Gordo squints to see the emblem on the driver's side door of the Jeep. Not a cop, he learns. An Ocean Beach 3 security patrol. Gordo knows how to read that. Powerless. He knows the patrolman has no authority, and he knows Wilfredo doesn't know this. From the upright, stiff way he's holding himself, Gordo knows Wilfredo thinks this is a legitimate officer of the law. Wilfredo's blinking can be misinterpreted as nervousness. The patrolman can read that as an admission of guilt. Gordo needs to move. He walks over and takes up the propane tank from Wilfredo's hand. He lifts it onto the pickup truck bed with no hesitation. "What's that you said?" Gordo asks. "Can I look at what you got in there," is what I said. "My uncle owns this bungalow," Gordo says, pointing to the bungalow. "Owns the one over in Ortley, too. That's where he's at now. He sent us to come get this tank." "What's your uncle's name?" "Jose," Gordo answers, shutting the tailgate. "You know?" "Don't think so," the patrolman says. "He's making lunch for the fam, short ribs, you know how it goes. He got to the grill. He got them on the grill, and 2 minutes in," Gordo claps his hands together, "ran out of gas." Gordo and Wilfredo climb into the cab. "You take it easy," Gordo says. Wilfredo turns over the ignition. "You too," the patrolman says, or something to that effect. Gordo and Wilfredo are gone before he can get it out. Wilfredo takes exit 117 off the parkway. They pull into Gunnison Beach on Sandy Hook. They walk to the back of the pickup, looking like two beach bums, not at all out of place, and admire their wares. "How many you say we got?" Gordo asks. Wilfredo does a quick count, blinking like mad. 24, he says. 24? What's the math on that, Willie? Wilfredo looks to the sky, closes his eyes, and calculates. "That's like 480, Wilfredo says. "Yeah, 480. 480, shit, we did good. Could have been even better if that toy cop hadn't rolled up. Willie, don't sweat that. We're good. We're real good." They tug the tarp back and forth, covering every inch of their cargo. Then they hike over the dune and pay the man for badges. The man asks for their license plate number. Wilfredo makes something up. Gordo sees a lounge chair collapse near the beach entrance, beside the boardwalk. He grabs it up, dusts the sand off its aluminum limbs, and revels in his find. A young lifeguard jogs over to him. "That's mine, mister." "You ain't using it," Gordo says. The lifeguard doesn't dispute this. "You can trust me," Gordo says. "I'll return it when I'm through." I personally vouch for Gordo if I were there with him. Wilfredo just watches. Wilfredo and Gordo chuckle and continue walking toward the water. The beach is sparsely populated, but those that are there are of a particular population. "Gordo, everyone's fucking naked," Wilfredo says. "Oh, you didn't know? Gunnison's the only nude beach in Jersey, Willie." "Get the fuck out of here." Naturalists, Willie. They call themselves naturalists. Wilfredo does an about face, heading for the parking lot. "Willie, it's funny." Gordo grabs Wilfredo's arm. "Look at them. There's dicks everywhere. Look at that old man's huevos." They sit at a distance from the other beachgoers. Gordo sits in the lounge chair. Wilfredo sits on his towel. Gordo buries his feet in the sand, tunneling deep toward clay, Earth's core, China. Wilfredo fusses with his bathing suit, adjusting the crotch. "I hate the netting, son." "What, are you chafing?" Gordo asks. "Yeah, my ma always used to cut out the netting when we go to the public pool." "Toughen up, Willie. Enjoy yourself." "Gordo, you came through for me before. I owe you for that." Wilfredo can too, indebted to me. I never thought I'd see the day, Gordo says. How can I exploit this? How about I buy you a bag of chips and we call it even? Bet. Wilfredo stands up and starts towards the shack on the boardwalk. Gordo yells for Wilfredo to get him a new straw. He pulls the current one from his mouth and examines it. It looks like a collapsed artery. He buries it in the sand beside him, a future archaeological find. Gordo squints at the sun. Wilfredo's sister's sunglasses aren't doing shit to protect him. They're more fashion than function. He stares at the ocean, at the horizon, and he sees orbs of blurry light dart back and forth. He squints at the sun again. He looks away. He sees orbs. He squints at the sun. Looks away. Sees orbs. Here, bitch. Wilfredo throws a bag of Doritos in Gordo's lap and waves a straw in front of him. Shit, Gordo says. What? It ain't a bendy. So? I like the bendy ones. It's a preference. Sorry I couldn't be more accommodating, Gordo. You're right. Thanks for the Doritos. Good looks. Gordo keeps on with the squinting at the sun. Wilfredo chugs a lemonade and shakes his head at the nude sunbathers and swimmers. He punches Gordo's arm. I got a new hustle, he says. Nah, Gordo says, I'm done. What, son? What you mean you're done? They're opening a Wendy's on the highway that runs behind my apartment. I'm going to go fill out an application with a buddy of mine. I'm pretty sure they'll hire me. I got experience. Wilfredo says, what experience you got? I worked at Mickey D's in high school. Experience, motherfucker. That's a bad idea, Gordo, Wilfredo says. What's bad about it, Willie? What's bad about it? What's not bad about it? It's a low-wage job for one, probably minimum, no benefits. We're talking about unskilled labor, Gordo. You're not even going to be able to pay your bills. Why kill yourself at a fast food job? Gordo says, at least it's consistent work. Consistent? Am I not consistent, Gordo? Am I not your boy? When have I led you astray? Listen, if you want to go straight, that's on you. But the fast food industry isn't what I would call your best option. You're bright, son. At least do something of value. But until that opportunity comes along and kicks you in the dick, keep taking opportunities I bring you. I'm clockwork, Gordo. Let's swim, Willie. Let's swim, Wilfredo scoffs. That's his comeback? Let's swim? You go swim, Gordo. I'll watch you. Gordo rises from the lounge chair. His broad back is striped from UV rays. Whole swaths of skin darkened by the sun. He looks around, left, right, front, back, as if to check if he's unseen. He yanks his bathing suit, which is to say Wilfredo's bathing suit, down to his ankles. Yo, what the fuck, Gordo? Wilfredo says, throwing his hands in front of his face. Gordo runs across the sand, his feet like gallon jugs, his body notable for its mass. He's like a pile of dough, striped dough. A sack of meal. He's a rhino running across the savannah. To Wilfredo, he's Gordo. Gordo drags the lounge chair to the lifeguard stand. He looks up at the lifeguard whose head is haloed by the sun. Here's your chair, Gordo says, shielding his eyes. See, he says, I'm an upstanding citizen. Gordo and Wilfredo hit Parkway traffic on the drive back north. Not a lot is said. Gordo passes out, his head bouncing off the passenger side window. Wilfredo's eyes keep looking in the rear view. He's wary of every pothole. The propane tanks clang together and create chamber music. It's dark by the time Wilfredo drops Gordo off in front of his apartment. Keep the wardrobe and accessories for the time being, Wilfredo says. When I give you your cut, you can give me my clothes. Bet, Gordo says. He slings the onion sack over his shoulder. Let me tell you about my new hustle, son. Not now, Willie. I'm late enough. Wife is going to kill me. Listen, son. Just listen to this. You know the DPW drop-off lot, right? People dump their old TVs there. There's like a tower of discarded TVs by a dumpster. Most of them ain't even broken, though. Just outdated. People want the flat screens, the HD, the LEDs, the LCDs, the whatever. So what we do is we go to the DPW lot. I'll borrow my brother's pickup again, and we'll fill the bed with TVs. We bring them to this pawn shop on 46 East. They're good money there, Gordo. Cash money. I'll have to let you know, Willie. Son, why are you always seeking sainthood? Gordo smacks the roof of the pickup and says, I'm out, Willie. Check you later. Wilfredo honks twice as he peels away. When I called Gordo on Tuesday morning and got his voicemail, I hung up and called again. He picked up, out of pity probably, and told me he didn't need a ride to Wendy's anymore. You want me to pick you up, an application? I asked. No, I'm good, he said. I don't mind driving you, I said. Your apartment's on the way. Thanks, but no thanks, Gordo said. He was obviously sleeping. His voice was muffled like the foam was sliding off his face. I'll call you later, he said. We'll get up for drinks this weekend. All right, feller, I said. I wasn't going to push him. Wasn't going to twist his arm. One, I said, but Gordo didn't bother to say goodbye.